Hey, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm so glad you can make it here again today. And in this particular video, I'm just going to show you the project breakdown of the video you just watched. And I really hope that was exciting for you to watch, but guess what? We are just going to dive in deep into After Effects and I'll show you how I get to achieve all of this. Right, if you're new to my channel, make sure you do subscribe. A lot of you are watching without subscribing, so make sure you do subscribe. And if you do enjoy the video, make sure you click on the thumbs up button. And of course, if you have any questions for me, anything at all, drop me in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer you. And lastly, if you still want to dive in deeper into this project, right, you can get the project file in the link in the description. And if you do that, you'll be supporting my channel so that I can make more videos like this. So without taking so much of your time, let's get straight to it. Alright guys, so I'm going to start with this first scene, which is just simple text animation. Here is where I have my music and my sound. These are just solid black background. If I click on my shine button, these are some layers that are hiding. But let's go straight to this text because this is where everything here is happening. So I'll open this up. This is what I have here. So let me make sure that everything is closed, and I'm just going to start from here. If I just enable this seeking, you can see that I have the one we just outlined and I have the one that comes in later, which is the fill. And if you noticed, there's no keyframe on this. That's because for every of the texts I have a control, a null control for them. So this is seeking, this is that, this is special, and all of them has their own control. And the reason why you see this in shape layers is because you can simply convert text to shape layers. So let me quickly show you how you can actually do that. So I can come here and just let me uncheck all of this. Let me just go ahead and just motion with thickness, and then I can just click on this, right click, go to create and convert to shape text. What will happen is to convert your text into shape, I can decide to delete this. Then all I will now do is for me to now separate all the words. So it depends on what I really want to do. I can separate all the individual text, each letter rather, and then animate, or I can just, if I want to animate the words, I can just extract the words. So for this one, I'll just extract the words. I'll highlight M to N, which is motion, and then I will just use my motion tools. So I'll go to my Windows, use my motion tools, and then click on extract. And then by the time it's extract, then I will now match them again together. So this will now be motion. I will do the same thing for width, extract, merge, rename this to width, and then the last one will be nas. I don't need to extract this. So by now I have my text, the words separately, right? And with this I can have much control. The reason why I convert shape text to shape, because it gives me more control to do some sort of animation on it. I can easily add echo. Not that you can add echo to text, but I just feel like it works better with shape layers. And then there's some other things, so many other cool things you can do with that. Converting to shape layers it's just a matter of preference and the things you really want to do. So that's practically what I did here. For this first one, you can see the first one here. Okay, let me undo that a little bit. I want to quickly show you. So for this motion, practically what I did for me to achieve this outline is, if I take my motion for instance, I could just make it stroke and take away the fill. You can actually still do the same thing with text. Let me just come and type motion, and then I will just take my text, take away the fill, and then add stroke, right? You can increase the stroke as much as you can. So you can actually do this however you want, right? It's just a matter of personal preference. So that's how I get to achieve that. So I'm finally going to delete this now. So that's practically what I did here. I have some form of control here for the seeking, but I think I added animation, but the animation is actually not active. This is actually parented to another control. All the text that I have, seeking, let me check this. So seeking, that special connection, you can see I separated all, and I have the general control here, the main control up here. So if I click U, you can see that this is what is driving the seeking animation to the side. I think all of these are simple position animation, nothing crazy, nothing much. All I did was to just make sure I stagger the rest of the animation. So that is staggered a little bit. It's task position animation. The special has its own animation too, and I also make sure that it has the outline option and then the fill option. That's basically all I did here. I think one other interesting thing that might interest you is how I get to do this interesting animation here. It's actually just simple positioning animation. So basically all I did was to apply position animation, most especially on the y-axis, just up and down, and then use this simple cool graph. This is the graph editor, this is speed graph, and I think I want to see if I work on value. So I didn't really work on value graph on this, but practically this is how I get to achieve this. So I just make sure that I offset it when it gets to from T to ION. I offset the keyframes to give it that cool animation. That's practically what I did there. So let's keep moving on. And one other interesting thing might be these stars, right? This is actually very simple to do. Just in case you don't know how to draw the shape, I'll come here, take my circle. Let me uncheck this fill. So I'm just going to draw another one here. Hold down my shift to draw a perfect circle. Then what I added was pluck down both. So I'll come here, poker and bloat. So I'll come here, then click on this, then just drag, right? If you drag forward, this is what's going to give you. If you drag backward, this is what's going to give you. So this is how I get to achieve this shape. Really, really simple. And then I just added simple scale animation, and then I wiggle the position, right? So I put them all around and then wiggle the position to everything. So that's why it's giving that really cool animation. So yeah, they all had the same wiggle expression, and that's how I get to achieve this. Then the one that is most likely the most interesting one here is this stroke. So I actually use a plugin for this called Cartoon Mobler. It's actually very good. It's very similar to Echo. So if you cannot achieve this if you don't have this plugin Cartoon Mobler, you can just use Echo. So basically if I uncheck this is what I have, right? So if I check this back, you can see the difference? And this is just Echo basically. And the beautiful thing about this is you can choose to make it a solid fill or you make it a ramp fill. So and that's practically all I did here. And I increased the shutter angle quite a bit. So if I keep increasing it, can you see how long it's going to go? So that's it. And then you can still do some more stuff. You can choose your motion source and things like that. It has more options here, so you can try and check it out. And practically all I did was to just apply simple position animation from left to right to make that happen, and then it just follows suit. And likewise what I did up there. So that is scene one in a nutshell. So let's go straight to the second scene. So here I made sure that at the end of this I did a match cut to the end here, and I think this is the main control. I did some anticipation, move to the right first, and then before it snapped to this end. And if you want to check out the keyframe, the graph editor, this is it. Let me go to the speed. So this is it. You can see towards the end. And then going straight to the second scene, this is what I have. So if you have been watching my videos, you would have an idea of how I get to achieve this 3 shapes, rectangle or portrait shape coming in. So basically it's just shape layers. So if I hide all my videos itself, so can you see this is practically all I did. And then for some weird reason I have wiggle expression on this. I didn't even notice, but that's fine. Yeah, animated the shape, also converted to circle. So how did I get to achieve that? If I click on you can see that I actually have a rounded rectangle, but in the portrait version. And then the roundness is what I now animate, because if you keep adjusting the roundness to a greater value, it will turn to circle. So that's practically how I get to do that. Right, so and what I have on the background is just a simple map. I have an effect added to it. So this is the map actually. So but I added CC ball action to make it dot dots, and that gives it this really cool look. Yeah, that's practically it. And after I'm done with all of this, I just added my shape. So I formatted each of the footage to the corresponding shape, and also parent them to the shape as well, so that they'll follow the movement. And that's how I get to achieve that. Yeah, I think I'll probably added some simple animation too as well, in order for it to follow the shape in a certain way, right? Just to make sure it keeps the character in focus, right? And these are just simple position and scale This is not 3D, it's just simple position and scale. And then the other smaller dots, these are just simple circle shape with deep glow, and then with simple scale animation. And I had my null here. Okay, this is the null that was responsible for the scaling in and scaling out. How I get to create this, you can do this by just creating normal law, but this, if you are seeing things like this, because I'm using Jake's script called Void, you can easily add null to your shapes and all. It has its own advantage and all. So that's what I'm using. So I think this is scene 2. I think that's pretty straightforward. And then for me to cut straight to scene 3, I have this animation here. Same thing, just a simple shape coming in. So, but one interesting thing here that might interest you is, as I'm bringing this in, obviously this is formatted to the shape. So this is the shape here, and this is the footage. As I'm bringing this in, I'm also animating the footage as well, because it's always very good to have this follow through, right? If something is coming in from the side, it's a form of follow through basically, right? It just makes it looks good and feels good. And I have this popping up. If I open this up, this is the composition responsible for this. And if I hide this, right, this is the footage. And then I just needed to add this and then add this, right? So how did I get to achieve this? Right, it's just simple rotoscoping. So if I hide all of this and add this footage, one thing I can do is I can just double click here. So two things I did, I added track. So let me just quickly show you how I get to achieve this. So let me just duplicate this, use the one under, make sure nothing is added to this. So let me just open this up and then delete this tracking. So I'll delete this tracking, so there's no tracking right now. So what I've done here is to duplicate, double click it to open a new window. This is my composition. This is a footage editor here. So first is the rotoscoping. I think rotoscoping is actually quite simple. All I did was to come up here to the panel, rotoscope, and then click on this, and then highlight the hand or the part that I want to make sure that, or the part I want it to cut out basically. And then it's actually going to do a rough job at first, then and I'll use my hold down alt, and then click the part that I don't want. Click this part, click this part, click this part. Just do some adjusting here too as well. And so far so good, it's looking good. I can zoom in some more, use my hand to adjust. And then I can still go as far as even cutting out all this. So if I want to cut this out, I can just hold down alt and cut that part out. Cut this out, and then I can zoom in and then adjust where I want it to capture. Something like this would do. I can still adjust this here. Then there's something cool we can do to the hair. I can come here and click on refine edge and then just highlight the hair part so that it can pick up those other details, and then to definitely try and catch those other details. And then when I'm done, I'll just click on freeze, and then to now track everything. I did this roughly just because I'm just trying to show you how this can be done. I'm definitely going to fast forward all this. So as you can see, if I now go back to my composition, okay, here it is. Can you see that it has really cut it out and really good? So by so doing, I can actually put anything and put it behind this. Can you see? And this is how I get to achieve this. So how did I get to make sure that this tracks well? So let me delete this. So one other thing you also notice is there's a subtle movement, right? As the phone is moving, this UI element is also moving as well. So that's because I was able to track it. So basically how you can do that is actually quite simple. So let me just solo this, double click this as well, and then I'll go to my track panel, click on tracker, and then I can see it here. Let me just adjust this a little bit. So let me just do this instead. Let me just put it on top here. So this is my tracker, right? Select this, click on track motion, then I'll just drag this to where I want it to be. Something that has a little bit of contrast somewhere in the phone. Now I'll just click on the play forward, which is the analyze forward. So I'll click on that, and then to track it really fast. And one thing I can do, I can create a null and name this my target, I'll select this, go to my tracking data, and I'll say edit target, and then I'll select the layer I want it to be. I'll click on my target and I'll click OK. I'll go back to my composition. By default, my null should follow the tracking. Okay, I've not clicked on apply yet, so let me go back here, go back to my footage, and I'll click on apply. So after you edit your target, make sure you select the null, then now click on apply. So it's now ask you what dimension X and Y is good. Then by now my null will now follow that, and then I can always attach anything, parent anything to that. That's practically how I get to achieve this in a nutshell. So I'm just going to delete this, and then go back to the way it was. So that's how I was able to achieve all of this, which is really cool. So I'll go back to, and I think the UI element, there's nothing much to it. I was just giving the Figma files, and I was able to go in there and do some simple animation. Nothing much, nothing crazy. It's just simple position animation and all, and costume part as well. So let's go to the next scene. And if you want to dig in deep into this, you can always get the project file in the link in the description. So let's go straight into this. So I have an animation here, the scale animation to scale it down. That's because I'm trying to do a match cut to the next scene, and all of these are actually shape layers. So I have my view, just zooming in, and of course you can tell that I use the cartoon mode blur again, and I use this color, and I make sure that color that I use is matching with the brand, and that just gives some really cool effects. So I have just simple scaling animation, position to the side, making sure. I also animated the cartoon mode blur accordingly as well. I animated the color because the color was changing. As it's changing to black, the background also changes here as well. So this is where the background changed. Move it to the side, the same thing that I did from the beginning, the same animation here. I think you guys get the gist here as well. And then I just match cut to this, and this is just simple position animation. So let me also highlight all of this and press U. So nothing much here basically, until we get to this point where I did some anticipation to the side, because I know I was going to cut to the other side. So anticipation to the side and then go straight to the other side. And also, because I want this to be parallax, so I moved this a little bit further so that it can move faster than the usual. And then it now gives me this simple position animation. This time around I didn't even convert to shape, and then just do scale animation to match cut to this. Just changing the background as well, which is under here. This is where I might have all my background changed. So then cut straight to this, just simple position animation with my cartoon mode blur as well. Then this is just a simple switch with the scaling animation. Then anywhere, anytime. The only thing I did here that I feel you may want to know is how I animated this. It's just simple bouncy animation. If you want to know how to do bouncing animation, I'll put a link somewhere here so you can check it out. That's practically everything, right? And this last scene, I didn't even animate. It's a footage that was given by the brand, so that's it. So like I said, if you want to really dive in deeper into all of this, the project file will be in the link in the description. Make sure you check it out, and then that's it pretty much. Yeah, I really hope you do enjoy that, and if you do, make sure you of course click on the thumbs up button there, which is the like button. And if you are new to my channel, make sure you do subscribe. What are you waiting for, right? And lastly, of course, the project files in the link in the description. Yeah, I'm just really glad you can make it to the end of the video. And if you still want to dive in deeper into other projects, you can check the link somewhere. You'll see the next video you are meant to watch. And that'll be all, and take care. See you in the next video.